The U.S. Navy just entered operational testing on a fighter jet so advanced it can control 4 drones at once while staying invisible to enemy radar. China's already flying 2 6th-generation prototypes. Russia's watching. And every air force on the planet just got the same message. Catch up or fall behind. This isn't about the future anymore. It's happening right now. And what you're about to learn will change everything you thought you knew about air superiority. The F-A-20 isn't just another fighter jet. It's a declaration. A technological leap so massive that it redefines what carrier-based air power even means. While most people have never heard of it, defense officials, military planners, and rival nations are watching every move this program makes. Because the F-A-20 represents something bigger than a single aircraft, it represents the future of naval aviation, the future of Pacific defense, and America's answer to the most dangerous military competition we've faced in decades. And today you're going to understand exactly why this fighter matters, what it can do, and what message it's sending to every Air Force on Earth. If you're proud of American military innovation and want to see our forces stay ahead, type "I love Navy" in the comments below. Let's show our support for the men and women who keep us safe. Section 1. The race nobody saw coming. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Right now, December 2024 marked a turning point. 2 Chinese fighter prototypes, the J-36 and the J-50, took to the skies on the same day. Not hidden away in some secret facility, out in the open, where cameras could catch them, where the world could see them. It was deliberate. It was a message, and it caught a lot of people off guard. The J-36 is massive, larger than anything China's built before, 3 engines. A flying wing design with stealth capabilities that mirror our own B-21 bomber. It can carry 10 tons of weapons internally, control groups of drones, and cruise at supersonic speeds without afterburners. The J-50 is smaller, more agile, built for air superiority with thrust vectoring and advanced sensors designed for close combat. 2 completely different approaches to 6th-generation warfare, both flying, both testing, both moving forward fast. Here's what makes that significant. When the U.S. developed the F-22, it took nearly 2 decades from first flight to full operational capability. The F-35 took even longer. China's J-20 stealth fighter went from demonstrator to frontline service in just 6 years. 6 years. And now they're pushing 2 6th-generation programs simultaneously, with analysts predicting one of them could enter service by 2030. That's not some distant future threat. That's 5 years from now. Meanwhile, the F-A-20 program has been caught in budget battles, political debates, and questions about whether the industrial base can even handle building 2 6th-generation fighters at once. One for the Navy, one for the Air Force. The Trump administration initially proposed cutting funding, prioritizing the Air Force's F-47 program instead. Congress pushed back hard. The Senate allocated $750 million to accelerate development. The Navy added another $1.4 billion to its unfunded priorities list. The message was clear: we need this jet, and we need it now. But here's the part that should concern everyone paying attention. Every delay, every budget cut, every month spent debating costs gives China more time to close the gap. And in some areas, they're not just closing it, they're threatening to leap ahead. So what exactly is the F-A-20 designed to do that makes it so critical? Why does the Navy believe this single aircraft will change everything about how carrier strike groups operate? The answer lies in 3 game-changing capabilities that no current fighter possesses. Section 2. 3 capabilities that change everything. First, range. The F-A-18 Super Hornet the workhorse of carrier air wings for over 2 decades, has an operational combat radius of about 500 to 650 nautical miles with a realistic weapons load. That's a problem in the Pacific. China's developed anti-ship missiles that can reach out 900 miles, maybe more. That means carriers have to operate farther from the fight, which means shorter time over target, limited strike options, and pilots burning fuel just to get to the battle space. The F-A-20 changes that calculation completely. It's designed with a 25% increase in range over current fighters. That pushes operational reach past 1,700 miles. Add in the MQ-25 Stingray unmanned tanker that's already in development, and suddenly the carrier air wing's area of effect expands from 8 million square miles to 11 million square miles. Think about that. 11 million square miles. That's not just an improvement. That's a fundamental shift in how carriers project power. It means strike groups can operate farther offshore, stay out of range of land-based missiles, and still hit targets deep inside enemy territory. It means longer dwell time over the target. It means flexibility the Navy hasn't had since the days of the A-6 Intruder. Second, stealth. But not just fifth-generation stealth like the F-35. We're talking bomber-level stealth. Engineers are designing this jet to have a radar cross-section closer to the B-21 Raider than the F-22 Raptor. That means it can penetrate air defenses that would light up current fighters like Christmas trees. It can operate in threat environments where even the F-35 would struggle. And it can do it while maintaining fighter-like agility. That combination, deep stealth plus high maneuverability, is something no operational fighter in the world currently possesses. Third, and this is the real game changer, manned-unmanned teaming. The F-A-20 is being built from the ground up to control multiple drones simultaneously, not just 1 or 2, 4 at minimum, potentially more as the technology matures. These aren't just surveillance drones. We're talking about loyal wingmen, autonomous aircraft that can carry weapons, jam enemy radars, scout ahead into dangerous airspace, or draw fire away from manned aircraft. The pilot becomes a quarterback, managing a small fleet of assets, multiplying their effectiveness while keeping themselves out of the most dangerous zones. Before we go further, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference in helping us bring you more content like this. Thank you for your support. Section 3. Why China's watching every move. Now let's talk about why this matters beyond just having a cool new jet. The Indo-Pacific isn't just another region, it's the region. Over 60% of global GDP flows through these waters. 5 of America's 7 treaty allies are here. And China has spent the last 2 decades building a military specifically designed to push U.S. forces out. They call it anti-access, area denial, A2AD for short. It's a layered defense system of submarines, surface ships, land-based missiles, advanced radars, and fighter aircraft, all working together to create a bubble around Chinese interests that's increasingly hard to penetrate. The goal is simple: make it so costly, so dangerous for American carriers to operate near Taiwan, near the South China Sea, near disputed islands, that we think twice before getting involved in a crisis. For years, our answer has been to rely on fifth-generation fighters like the F-35 and advanced missiles launched from submarines and surface ships. But China's not standing still. They're fielding their own fifth-generation fighters now. The J-20 is operational. The carrier-based J-35 is in production. Their integrated air defense systems are getting more sophisticated every year. And as we've already discussed, they're flight testing 6th-generation designs right now. The F-A-20 is the Navy's answer to that evolving threat. It's designed to operate in exactly the kind of high-threat environment China's building. Long range means carriers can stay farther back. Deep stealth means it can penetrate those defensive bubbles. AI-enabled manned-unmanned teaming means one pilot can overwhelm enemy defenses with multiple threats coming from multiple directions. It's not just about having a better fighter. It's about changing the equation, forcing China to rethink their entire defensive strategy. And here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. When China sees the FA-20 program moving forward, when they see Congress fighting to fund it, when they see Boeing and Northrop Grumman investing billions in new facilities to build it, they get a message. They understand that America isn't ceding the Pacific. We're not backing down. We're doubling down on the capabilities needed to maintain presence, to support our allies, and to ensure freedom of navigation in waters that matter to global security. But there's another dimension to this story that's just as important as the technology itself. It's about allies, about partnerships, and about what happens when the world's most powerful Navy fields a capability that changes the rules of engagement. Section 4. The Allied Message. Japan, Australia, South Korea, the Philippines, these aren't just partners, they're frontline states. They live with the reality of Chinese military expansion every single day. When they make defense decisions, when they invest in new capabilities, when they adjust their force posture, they're doing it with one eye always on what America brings to the table. The FA-20 matters to them in ways that go beyond just having another U.S. fighter in the region. First, it's a demonstration of commitment. Building a sixth-generation carrier fighter is expensive. We're talking about a program that could cost hundreds of billions of dollars over its lifetime. That level of investment sends a clear signal. America is here for the long haul. We're not just maintaining current capabilities. We're building the next generation of tools needed to maintain security in this region for decades to come. Second, it's about interoperability. Japan operates its own carrier-capable fighters. Australia is investing heavily in long-range strike capabilities. South Korea is developing its own advanced fighters. When the U.S. fields a platform like the FA-20 with open architecture systems, advanced networking, and the ability to share data across multiple platforms, it means our forces can work together more effectively. A Japanese early warning aircraft can pass targeting data to an FA-20. An Australian submarine can provide intelligence that helps an FA-20 strike package avoid threats. Everything becomes more integrated, more powerful, more survivable. Third, and this is crucial, it changes calculations in Beijing. Chinese military planners aren't just thinking about fighting the U.S. Navy. They're thinking about fighting the U.S. Navy plus the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force, plus the Australian Defense Force, plus South Korean forces, all working together with real-time data sharing and coordinated strike capabilities. The FA-20, with its ability to operate as a node in a larger network, controlling drones, sharing information, coordinating with everything from satellites to submarines, makes that combined force far more dangerous than the sum of its parts. And here's something that gets overlooked in a lot of these discussions. Deterrence isn't just about capability. It's about perception. It's about making potential adversaries believe that the costs of aggression outweigh any possible benefits. Every time China sees an FA-20 launch from a carrier deck, every time their intelligence services brief their leadership on its capabilities, every time their own pilots have to train against the scenario of facing sixth-generation fighters supported by loyal wingmen drones, it reinforces a message. Starting a war in the Pacific would be catastrophic for everyone involved. And that message, delivered through capability, through presence, through visible investment in advanced systems, that's what keeps the peace. Section 5. The technology behind the message. Let's get into some of the specific technologies that make this jet so revolutionary, because the details matter. The FA-20 isn't just an incremental upgrade, it represents fundamental shifts in how fighters are designed and employed. Start with the propulsion system. We're likely looking at adaptive cycle engines, a technology that allows the engine to adjust its bypass ratio in flight. What that means in plain English is the engine can optimize itself for different flight conditions. High thrust for combat maneuvers, high efficiency for long-range cruise. It's like having two different engines in one package. That contributes directly to the extended range and gives pilots more flexibility in how they manage their fuel and their mission profile. The sensor suite is another massive leap forward. We're not talking about a traditional radar in the nose and maybe some targeting pods under the wings. The FA-20 is being designed with distributed aperture systems, sensors all over the airframe that work together to create a complete 360-degree picture of the battle space. Infrared sensors that can detect threats in any direction. Electronic warfare systems that can identify enemy radars, jam them, or feed false information. All of this information gets fused together through artificial intelligence that can process it faster than any human and present the pilot with clear, actionable information. And then there's the AI itself. This is where things get really interesting. The transition from man-in-the-loop to man-on-the-loop means the AI isn't just helping the pilot. It's making real-time decisions about things like drone control, defensive maneuvers, even targeting recommendations. The pilot remains in command, but the AI handles the overwhelming data flow, the split-second calculations, the management of multiple autonomous systems. It's the difference between a fighter pilot and a fighter pilot who commands a small air force. The weapons bay is larger than anything we've seen on carrier-based fighters before. Internal carriage of weapons is critical for stealth, but it's always been a limitation. The FA-20 is designed with enough internal volume to carry the weapons needed for long-range strikes without compromising its stealth profile. And with the open architecture design, it can integrate new weapons as they're developed. Hypersonic missiles, directed energy weapons. Whatever comes next, this jet can carry it. But here's what really sets it apart from anything flying today. It's designed from day one for rapid upgrades. The days of taking 5 to 10 years to integrate a new capability are over. The FA-20 uses modular systems that can be swapped out and upgraded without having to rebuild the entire aircraft. Software updates that used to take months can happen in days. New sensors, new weapons, new electronic warfare capabilities, all of it can be integrated faster than ever before. That means this fighter will stay relevant longer, will adapt to new threats quicker, and will maintain its edge even as adversaries develop countermeasures. Section 6. What this means for the future. So where does all of this lead? What does the future look like with the FA-20 entering service in the 2030s? First, it means carrier strike groups remain the most powerful military force projection tool on the planet. There have been voices in recent years questioning whether carriers are still relevant in an age of long-range missiles and advanced submarines. The FA-20 answers that question definitively. With the range to operate far from the carrier, the stealth to survive in contested airspace, and the ability to control multiple drones, this jet extends the reach and survivability of the entire strike group. Carriers aren't obsolete, they're evolving. Second, it sets the standard for what sixth-generation combat aircraft should be. Other nations are watching this program closely. Our allies will want to ensure their own forces can work alongside the FA-20. Potential adversaries will study its capabilities and develop their own counters. This jet becomes the benchmark, the measuring stick, for the next generation of air combat systems worldwide. Third, and perhaps most important, it demonstrates American resolve. In a world where authoritarian powers are testing boundaries, where territorial disputes simmer just below the boiling point, where one miscalculation could spiral into something catastrophic, having overwhelming military capability matters, not because we want to use it, because we want to prevent its use. The FA-20 flying off carrier decks in the Pacific, operating alongside Allied forces, demonstrating capabilities that no other Navy can match. That's a deterrent. That's what keeps potential aggressors from making dangerous bets. That's what maintains the peace we've had in the Pacific for decades. Conclusion: the FA-20 isn't just a fighter jet, it's a statement of intent, a message to allies that we're committed to their security, a message to adversaries that we're not ceding any ground, and a message to every Air Force on Earth that the future of air combat has arrived. And it's unlike anything we've seen before. The race is on, the stakes are higher than ever, and the United States Navy is leading the charge into that future. If this video opened your eyes to what's happening in naval aviation, hit that like button one more time and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The world's changing fast. Stay informed, stay ahead. Thanks for watching.